Hello everyone, and welcome to our discussion program today. We are going to talk about a topic that many people have strong opinions about. It's a question that can be quite personal, and sometimes difficult. Can open relationships be successful? It's a fascinating subject, and one that seems to be discussed more openly these days. But what does it really mean, and what are the chances for success? To help us explore this, I have two guests with different views. Please welcome Anna, who believes that open relationships can work very well. And also joining us is Ben, who has some doubts and questions about how successful these relationships can be in the long run. Our aim today is not to say one way is right or wrong. We want to understand the different perspectives and the important things to think about. So let's have a respectful and thoughtful conversation. Welcome, Anna and Ben.
Thank you for having me, Chloe. I'm happy to share my thoughts on this interesting subject. For me, an open relationship means that two people in a primary relationship agree that they can also have other romantic or sexual partners. This is often called ethical non-monogamy because it's all based on honesty and clear consent from everyone involved. So to answer the main question, yes, I strongly believe open relationships can be successful. They can be just as loving, committed, and stable as any other type of relationship, if they are managed well. However, they definitely need certain things to work well. The most important thing is very honest and open communication. You have to be able to talk about everything, including difficult feelings like jealousy or insecurity, without fear of judgment. Deep trust is also absolutely essential. You must trust your partner completely, and they must trust you. This trust is built carefully over time, through consistent honesty, and by keeping promises made to each other. Clear rules and boundaries are another key part. Partners need to sit down and agree on what is okay and what is not okay for their specific relationship. These rules can be different for every couple, and they can also change over time with more discussion and agreement. Respect for everyone involved is vital. That means respect for your primary partner, respect for any other partners, and also respect for yourself and your own needs. And of course, consent must be ongoing and enthusiastic. Everyone should feel comfortable and agree to the situation at all times, and be able to withdraw that consent if things change. I understand it's not a path for everyone. It requires a lot of maturity, good communication skills, and self-awareness from all individuals. But for those who choose it and build it on these strong foundations, it can be a very fulfilling and successful way to have relationships.
Thanks, Chloe. I appreciate being here to offer a different viewpoint on this matter. While I understand Anna's points about honesty and rules, I am quite skeptical about open relationships being truly successful for most people in the long term. I think they are often very difficult to manage and can unfortunately lead to a lot of emotional problems. One of the biggest challenges, in my opinion, is managing natural human emotions. Feelings like jealousy, possessiveness, and insecurity are very powerful and can be hard to control. It's difficult to imagine not feeling jealous if your partner is developing a connection with someone else. Then there's the practical side of managing time and emotional energy. Meaningful relationships need attention and care. If you have multiple partners, how do you give enough quality time and emotional support to everyone without feeling completely tired or stressed out? There's also a high risk of hurt feelings, even if there are rules. Someone might get more attached than they expected, or one partner might feel neglected if the other is spending a lot of time with someone new. And what happens if rules are broken, even by accident? That can cause a lot of pain and damage trust. I also worry about the possibility of secrets developing. Even if the initial idea is to be completely open and honest, it might become tempting to hide small things to avoid arguments or to protect a partner's feelings. This would go against the core idea of transparency that Anna mentioned. Finally, society generally doesn't offer much support or understanding for open relationships. This lack of social acceptance can add extra pressure or make people in such relationships feel isolated or judged. Compared to traditional monogamy, which has clear social understanding and support structures, open relationships seem to face many more obstacles to achieve genuine long-term stability and peace. So, while it might sound like a good or liberating idea in theory for some individuals, I seriously question if it's a practical or stable model for the majority of relationships.
Thank you both for your opening thoughts. Anna, Ben mentioned jealousy. It's a big concern for many. How do couples in open relationships actually handle it when those feelings arise?
That's a key question. Jealousy is normal. It's a natural human emotion. The difference in successful open relationships is how it's handled, not whether it appears. They don't ignore it or pretend it doesn't exist. Instead, they create a safe space to talk about it openly and honestly with a partner, ideally before it grows into a bigger issue. Sharing these vulnerable feelings without blame or judgment is absolutely vital for progress. Often, just discussing the root cause of the jealousy helps a lot. A partner might simply need more reassurance of their importance, or perhaps a specific boundary might need to be discussed or adjusted to help them feel more secure and comfortable. For instance, a couple might agree to always share important news with each other first, or to have dedicated, special time together that is protected. These actions strengthen the main bond and can reduce insecurity. It's about active listening, empathy, and finding solutions that work for them together.
That sounds like it requires a lot of emotional work and constant attention. Ben, you highlighted jealousy. Why do you think it's so tough to manage in these relationships, even with open communication channels?
Even with talking, I think it's very hard for many people to feel truly secure and at peace. Knowing your partner is being intimate or forming emotional bonds with someone else can cause constant underlying worry for some. It's an ongoing challenge, not a problem you solve just once. You might find yourself frequently comparing yourself to others, or worrying that your partner is developing deeper feelings for someone else that could threaten your own relationship. This can slowly harm your self-esteem and the basic trust you have, despite any rules that are in place. For some individuals, the idea of sharing their partner in such an intimate way just goes against a very deep-seated emotional need to feel unique and central to their loved one. It could feel like a constant, lingering threat to the special connection of the primary relationship, making true peace of mind very difficult to achieve.
That gives us a lot to think about regarding jealousy. Now let's talk about commitment. Anna, if sexual exclusivity isn't the main factor, how is commitment defined or shown in an open relationship?
Commitment in open relationships is shown in many ways, very similar to monogamous ones, just without sexual exclusivity being the central pillar. It's really about providing strong emotional support and being a reliable, present partner through all of life's ups and downs, the good times and the challenging ones. It's also about deep honesty in all dealings, building a shared life together, and working towards important mutual goals and dreams for the future. You can be profoundly committed to your primary partner, plan a future, even raise a family together, while still allowing each other the freedom to explore other connections respectfully and ethically, within agreed boundaries.
Ben, does that kind of commitment seem less strong or perhaps less clear to you when compared to the model of monogamy?
Yes, for many people, I think it can seem less clear and potentially less strong. For a lot of us, exclusivity is a very direct and unambiguous sign of commitment. It clearly communicates, "You are my one and only, my priority." When other romantic or sexual partners are involved, it might be hard to feel secure about where the primary loyalty truly lies, especially if strong new feelings develop for someone else. This could easily create a persistent sense of insecurity about the future of the main relationship. I also think about long-term stability, particularly when children are part of the family. Children generally need a stable and clear family structure to thrive. Introducing more adults into the intimate romantic lives of their parents might be confusing or unsettling for them.
That brings up a good point about stability. It makes me wonder, how should we define success in any relationship, regardless of its structure? Is it purely about its duration, how long it lasts?
For me, success in a relationship isn't just about staying together for many years, though that can be one aspect. More importantly, it's also about individual happiness, personal growth for both partners, and feeling deeply supported, understood, and valued within the relationship, whether it's open or monogamous.
I agree that happiness and mutual respect are absolutely key to any successful relationship. However, I also think that duration and stability, especially when a couple navigates difficult times together and stays united, are very important signs of success. For families, this stability is a crucial element.
To sum up my view, I believe open relationships can definitely be successful and bring a lot of happiness. However, it's important to understand that it's not an easy path, nor is it a quick solution for existing relationship problems. It requires continuous, dedicated effort from everyone involved. Their success truly depends on exceptional, ongoing communication, a high degree of self-awareness and emotional intelligence from all partners, and unwavering respect for each other and the agreed-upon boundaries. It's a very conscious choice that needs strong foundations of trust, honesty, and mutual care to truly flourish and be sustainable. When those essential elements are present and nurtured, an open relationship can be a deeply rewarding, loving, and stable way for people to connect and support each other through life.
In closing, I still believe that while open relationships might theoretically work for a very small number of people with very specific personalities, strong emotional skills, and particular life circumstances, they are unfortunately not a practical or sustainable model for most individuals. The inherent practical challenges, such as consistently managing jealousy, the sheer complexity of navigating multiple relationships simultaneously, and the potential for a significant emotional toll, are simply too high for the average person to navigate successfully in the long term without considerable strain. For these reasons, I think traditional monogamy, with its clear focus on one primary partner and established societal understanding, generally offers a more straightforward, stable, and less complicated path to achieving lasting happiness and security for most couples and their families.
Thank you, Anna and Ben, for your honest and very insightful perspectives. It's clear there's a lot to consider on this complex topic. We've heard that open relationships are indeed multifaceted. Their success seems to depend heavily on the specific individuals involved, their commitment to communication, and the clarity and respect for their agreed-upon boundaries, with compelling arguments presented on both sides of the discussion. Thank you to our listeners for joining our discussion today. We hope it has given you some interesting points to reflect on.